Hello there everyone, GMAC here, back with another video. Just wanted to bring you in on this one, kind of working on a furnace today. Just a little bit of tips, and I want to put a disclaimer out there. I am not a furnace mechanic. I do take care of the ones closest to me. In this case, this is actually GMAC Senior's furnace. So we're just doing a simple cleaning, simple and basic. And the question is to you, can you do it? I don't know. Friends of mine that own and run HVAC places, that do this kind of work, and I learned how to basically do it. Do I know all the technical stuff? No, but I just wanted to show you some basic stuff that I do. So this particular model is a Valiant. Know this furnace pretty well all my life, and it has a Blue Angel burner on it. So basically what we're doing here is just doing a regular service on it. So we want to clean out the chamber here, clean out any debris. This is actually looking pretty decent, so we're sorry about that. Taking a wire brush, cleaning up in here. So this is basically some tools you need, using a shop vac, sweeping out the dirt. Might need impact driver, a couple of wrenches. I had to access the nozzle. I'll go over here and I'll show you this. We already changed the fuel filter on it. There's the fuel filter. Over here, obviously, here's the fuel tank. It's where your fuel is kept. Here's the nozzle. I just kind of set it over here for now. And this is like, here as you can see, this thing is actually, it's time to be cleaned. And I can't talk about maintenance on my channel enough where, here, this is the most important thing of taking care of your stuff to make it last longer. And this, I'd have to ask GMAC Senior here, but this furnace is actually, I believe, 40 years old right now. I think this was, he just said pretty close. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, this was installed in 1985, 86, something like that. So it's at least pretty close to 40 years old. So this is an access panel to get it at this thing, and doesn't have economizers in it. Some furnaces do, some don't. And you take, in this case here, I took these off here to be able to get in and clean out the ports and everything to get the soot out of it. I'm gonna, in a little bit here, I'm gonna remove the pipe off going to the furnace. We want to check our draft, make sure our draft is right. Unfortunately, my draft gauge is broke, so I couldn't use that. But we'll be able to tell that we have good draft, and I could already feel it when I opened the burner up. All right, so let's, another good thing to keep in mind here. Before I even started here, I turned the furnace off. The fuel line is turned off. So right now what I'm doing, and keep in mind, there is black soot involved with this. We just want to go in here. I'll show you another thing I use, but I want to get all this loosened up. As you can see my hand turning down. This is some fire layer here. It protects the burner because that's where the fire comes out. That was obviously installed by the professionals when this was rebuilt a couple years ago. But basically all I'm doing is taking a shop vac in here. I want to sweep this all out, get rid of all this soot, and then I even have a longer, this one's about, probably after this service, this thing will be done. But just want to go down here. I'll do the other side then, but I'll save you that boredom. You just want to go down in, and then a lot of times this here will just drop down inside. We'll stick the shop vac in there, and we'll sweep this all out. But if you look there, we're going straight down through. All right, yeah, we just want to go down through with our brush here as best we can. You can actually see the draft pulling it out. So now we're going to take the shop vac and sweep that all out. So basically here, this side is done. Take and put this back on here. I haven't done this for a couple of years. This last time we actually had the HVAC technician do it, but this is different from my furnace. But the firefighter in me will tell you, make sure your, which we have here, your smoke detectors are working and stuff like that. And especially in this case, CO detector. It's getting to be that time of the year. Gonna line these all up. So that way we can, you see the mark where they kind of go. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Move that. Need two hands for this. Alright, got the top of that back together. As you can see here, we got a little bit of wire brushing to do in here. Like I said, just want to get some of the soot off. A little bit of shop vac work. So, you know, while finishing up this part of this, you have to ask yourself the question, if you have an oil burner in your house or garage or whatever, do you maintain it? Do you hire someone? Can you even do it? I don't know. I'm just putting this information out there for you to think about it. You know, maybe you can do something like this. I have no idea. So I learned how to do it because sometimes HVAC technicians, or mine in particular that I still use, he gets busy. So I figured I have enough skill that I can do this. Not everybody can. And then, you know, sometimes, not knocking anybody, but just to put the information out there, sometimes it's hard to get access to someone to clean your furnace. I don't know in your particular area, but I just want to put it out there, a disclaimer, that I am not a professional in this. I'm a DIYer, and I try to learn and fix things as I can. Again, in that part, that's all about what my channel is, and this is one of those things. So let's get this finished shop back up. now we're gonna close that back up. That's all looking pretty good. This furnace is nice because it has a hinge on it. Now let's put our nut and washer back on there. This is a dirty job sometimes. Maybe you don't want to do something like this. And one thing I'll tell you, don't wait till winter to get your burner taken care of, because those guys get pretty busy. You know, things break. And fortunately in the mechanical, I mean, even more technology than that, some of this stuff breaks. Now, granted, if the aquastat goes bad, that might be a challenge for me, and I'd want to have the professional in take care of it. But I've replaced the motor on mine. There's a drive inside. I've replaced, actually the drive in this one went bad, and I replaced that. And sometimes you just learn how to do it. I've replaced transformers. That's what this thing does. This is basically your coil, like on a gasoline engine. Some of them. And this one here, this one doesn't have it. Some of these models have another filter inside. I will double check in here because this is where the pump is and where the fuel comes in, and I'm going to take that apart and double check it. But I'm pretty positive, if I remember right, this one does not have a screen. It's actually a screen, and you're going to just clean that and then put it back together. This one here, you just want to make sure there's an eye here that reads the flame. Make sure that's clean. Like right now, I don't know if there's a good way of showing it, but you can actually see this thing has really good draft. I guess the towel isn't light enough to actually see it, but I can take my hand and actually feel the air being pulled in. That's how good the draft is here. So I know the draft is well on this burner. So let's get working on the nozzle. All right, so what we're gonna do here, get all that black crud and stuff taken off of here and get this cleaned up real nice, and then we're gonna remove the nozzle. So I don't have my tripod, so we're gonna do this in increments here, and I'll show you as I go. All right, got the nozzle all set, gave it a good cleaning, basically put it back together the way it was, set it up for the igniter and the nozzle to meet together. Now we're gonna slide it back in. And again, I might need both hands to do this because I got to line it all back up here. And I got to bolt it in. Just like that.
I think there's 2 nails in this or something.
All right, got that back in there and lined up. You want it pretty well square. See it there, little screw on the side. This one is set back all the way. That's what we want to make sure. All right. Now we're going to hook our line back up. The more I'm thinking about this one does not have a filter in it, but I think we're going to take the cover off of it, even though the fuel filter was pretty clean. And we'll just double check it. Get our right wrench. There it is. Tighten this up. Oh, that wasn't the right one. There it is. Alright, still looking good. Now, here's where you want to make sure, and sometimes your terminals need bent. It looks like they're making contact. Should be good. I like to bend them up a little bit. My furnace actually has springs on it. Put our screws back in there.
I think he.
All right, found my screw. Accidentally vacuumed it up. All right, just get these two on here. All right, got that all finished up there. Now what I'm gonna do, just to double check, pretty positive there's not one under there, but I'm gonna pull this off, and I just want to make sure there's nothing dirty or anything in the pump. So unfortunately in this model, when you do this, it is kind of messy, but we'll clean that up. This one doesn't take a filter, so we're gonna just make sure this is all clean. The gasket is not broke. So we're gonna just put it back together. You can see some little bit of varnish in there. We'll take and clean that up. Now, you see how nice and clean we got that? Unfortunately, what makes it a challenge is the line goes up into the ceiling here. It kind of puts pressure on it. Sometimes that's how they are. So I got to take both hands, put the screws back in.
What's a clean one?
All right, got the cover back on. We should be all good here. Got that tightened up. So now we're going to be checking the back of the furnace. G-Mec Senior is actually working on making sure the chimney is cleaned out as best we could. But so from the back here, you can see the debris in here. We're going to get out with the shop vac. All right, this isn't going to be perfect, but to get in there, all that, it took the brush in there, swept that all out. That actually cleaned up pretty good. So now we're going to check the chimney and clean the pipe out. All right, so we got the pipe all cleaned up. Now we're going to check the chimney. And I'm going to let you guys in the channel here do that. So there, we're going to, looking in there, we see it from the bottom. Now let me know what it looks like in there. Thank you much. All right, we got this all back together. G-Mec Senior got the pipe on, so now we're going to get our drain hose here ready. Make sure we can open our bleeder, because we're going to have a lot of air to bleed out of this thing, unfortunately. Get that open right away. Up here, turn our switch on. Hear the air coming out already. Now we got to play with the aquastat here a little bit. Sometimes this takes a bit to get all the air out of it. And sometimes it might even fire too. Alright, still waiting here. It's actually running, but classic because of how much air goes. So, and now it's going to automatically shut down. Open our bleeder back up, hit our reset. Sometimes you have to hold the reset for a while. just waiting to see here. I think we might have all the air out of it. Running good. Seems to be pretty normal for flame. Looking pretty even. You can see right there, it sounds even. Don't sound funny or blip, 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 like it's not running right. So you can see right now we're about 140, something like that. So right now I set the aquastat up so it kicks on so we can get it running and check everything out and make sure everything is going good. Like I said, it sounds nice and normal. So here, this is basically a video on how to service an oil burner. And I'll say the disclaimer again that I'm not a professional doing this. I'm just a DIY handy kind of guy. And sometimes it pays to know how to do this kind of stuff. What if you can't get a professional to work on it? What if you're short on money? I'm not telling you to do this, but it's just an idea. So thanks for watching. This is GMAC. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. And remember, keep on wrenching.
Right. This was that thing.